You know, when you open a history book, you get these neat stories of kings and queens, empires rising and falling. But what if I told you that in between all those neat pages, there's another story? One that kind of defies everything we think we know. We're talking about puzzles from thousands of years ago that even our best modern minds can't quite solve. So, are you ready to question what you thought you knew about the ancient world? Let's dive in.
Today, we are going on a journey, and we're going to look at some of history's most fascinating, most baffling unsolved mysteries. And trust me, each one is going to make you question what you thought was possible and challenge our whole modern view of the ancient world.
So we're going to start with stuff you can actually see, physical objects, artifacts that have archaeologists and historians just scratching their heads. Okay, picture this. You're digging at a Roman ruin. You find the usual stuff: swords, coins, pottery, and then you find this. It's not a sphere, it's not a cube. It's this wild 12-sided bronze object with holes on every face and these little knobs at all the corners. This is the Roman dodecahedron. And here's the thing, over 100 of these have been dug up all across the old Roman Empire, but there is not a single mention of them anywhere. Not in any Roman book, not on any painting, not in any records, nothing. So what were they for? Some people guess they were for measuring things in the military, others think maybe they were astronomical tools, but that's the real head-scratcher. If these were so common, why is there this just deafening silence about them? It's like finding hundreds of iPhones from an ancient civilization with zero record of what they were for. It just doesn't make sense.
All right, now let's jump from the heart of the Roman Empire to the frozen bogs of Siberia, where an even older puzzle was just waiting to be found. This is the Shigar idol. It's the oldest known wooden sculpture in the entire world.
And when I say old, I mean ancient. This thing is 12,000 years old. It was carved 7,000 years before the pyramids of Giza were even a blueprint. I mean, just let that sink in for a second.
But it's the detail on this thing that is truly mind-bending. The idol is just covered in these mysterious faces and really complex geometric patterns. It's basically an undeciphered code from a time when we assumed people were just living simple lives in caves. So how did a society of hunter-gatherers, people on the move, create a piece of art this complex, this symbolic? We all recognize the famous stone heads of Easter Island, right? For centuries, we thought that's all they were, just giant heads. But then archaeologists started digging, and they uncovered this incredible secret. The heads have full bodies buried deep in the earth, some standing several meters tall and covered in these amazing carvings. It really makes you wonder, doesn't it? I mean, why go to all the trouble of carving these incredible bodies? Just to bury them? Was that the plan all along, like a way of anchoring these guardians to the earth? Or did time just swallow them up? All these artifacts raise a pretty big question. Are they just cool decorations? Or are we looking at forgotten messages from a world we just can't comprehend anymore?
Okay, next up, we're looking at technologies from the ancient world that were so advanced they honestly seem almost magical to us today.
So, let me tell you about Damascus steel. This stuff wasn't just metal, it was a legend. Swords made from it were like the super weapons of their time, known for being incredibly strong and unbelievably sharp. The properties were just incredible. They were so sharp they could slice a piece of silk as it fell through the air, but they were also so flexible you could bend them way out of shape and they wouldn't break. The blacksmiths who made them were basically seen as magicians. But here's the real mystery: the exact recipe, the precise heating process. It was a secret that was lost centuries ago. Think about that for a second. With all of our modern labs and supercomputers, we're still trying to perfectly replicate a secret held by ancient blacksmiths. It's a lost art, locked away by time. And then you have the Lighthouse of Alexandria, one of the 7 wonders of the ancient world. It was massive, over 130 meters tall, and it guided ships for centuries. But the real wonder was its light. Some records say it was a giant polished mirror that reflected sunlight during the day and a bonfire at night. But other stories hinted something way more advanced, a technology so powerful you could supposedly see it from over 35 miles away, a literal star on Earth guiding sailors home.
When the lighthouse was destroyed in a series of earthquakes, the secret of its light was lost forever. And it leaves us wondering, right? How did these ancient cultures develop technologies that, in some cases, we still can't fully understand or even reproduce today?
And it wasn't just small objects or single technologies. Ancient civilizations also engineered things on a scale that is just mind-boggling. Just take a look at this comparison. 5,000 years ago, in the Indus Valley,
Cities like Harappa had running water supplied to every single home. They had an advanced, gravity-fed sewer system that would honestly put some modern cities to shame. How did they achieve that level of civil engineering without all our modern tools and machinery?
And if ancient city planning wasn't impressive enough, imagine just stumbling upon this. So in 1992, some villagers in China decided to drain a pond, and they made a discovery that still baffles engineers today: the Longyu Caves. It's this massive network of man-made caverns, carved out of solid rock with unbelievable precision. The walls are smooth, covered in these parallel tool marks, like they were cut by a giant machine. The real puzzle? These caves are thought to be over 2,000 years old, and they are mentioned in 0 historical texts. None. Zip.
Meanwhile, in Japan, you have the Horyuji Temple. It's one of the oldest wooden buildings in the world. Its wood, which is 1,400 years old, hasn't rotted or warped or failed. Scientists think the builders used a kind of lost architectural science, some secret method of choosing, drawing, and joining the wood that's made it resistant to earthquakes, weather, and time itself.
And for our last stop, let's look up at the sky, because it seems our ancestors had a shockingly deep understanding of the cosmos way before we give them credit for.
I mean, we all know Stonehenge, right? But this timeline really puts our ancestors' knowledge into perspective. Look at the Gozig Circle in Germany. It's a solar observatory that was built 7,000 years ago. That's a full 2,000 years before Stonehenge was even a thing. Its gates line up perfectly with the solstices, which proves that even that far back, people were carefully tracking the heavens.
And then you have the Maya. Their calendar wasn't just one calendar, it was this really complex interlocking system of cycles. It was so precise at tracking the movement of the sun, moon, and planets that its calculation for the length of a year rivals the accuracy of our modern atomic clocks. They could predict astronomical events hundreds of years into the future.
Which, of course, brings us to a huge question. Without telescopes, without computers, how did our ancestors get such an intimate and mathematically precise understanding of the universe? Was it just thousands of years of patient observation, or is there another piece to this puzzle that we're missing?
So, what do we take away from all this? Well, first, the past was way more complex and technologically advanced than the simple story we're usually told. Second, these mysteries showed just how fragile knowledge can be, hinting at entire chapters of human ingenuity that have just been lost to time. And maybe most importantly, they show us that history isn't a finished story. It's an active investigation, with new discoveries constantly challenging what we think we know.
From lost tech to impossible structures, the ancient world is still packed with secrets just waiting to be uncovered. So now I want to ask you, which of these puzzles gets your mind racing the most? Let us know, because the more we dig into the past, the more we realize we have only just scratched the surface. Thanks for joining me on this exploration.